And one more thing I want to show you about the panels is the case when there's glass or mirror inside the wooden frame. So this door is a nice example. So the idea here is that you have a large frame, an applied molding, and a different profiled little pieces of wood, dividing this empty space into window panes. And finally some beveled glass to complete this whole thing. Sometimes instead of these wooden sticks or whatever they're called, you get some brass, like here, and the idea is very similar. Okay, some thinner wood pieces here. And I want to show you one thing that can help you with this sort of thing, this sort of glass door or mirror door. So let's start with a basic frame. And just a quick profile. Okay, let's leave this flat. Alright, so that's gonna be the profile. Let's make a quick path. Add bevel profile, pick. Okay, let's say this is our frame. And we want to divide it into some interesting window panes, or not window panes, but glass panes or panels. So let's say we want to divide it like this maybe. And one more. So some sort of a floral pattern or something. Okay, I'm just gonna attach this all these lines together. Increase the interpolation steps. And this is a very quick way to add these dividing wooden profiles. So for example, the profile would look probably something like this. Very simple. That's one half of it. Okay, like that, and mirror to the other side, make a copy, attach them together. Well, the center part, like so. And that's going to be our profile. And once you make this profile, you want to make sure that you set, okay, just make sure these are welded. And the thing you want to make sure is that bottom center part or vertex is made first. Okay, so that it's colored in yellow. And this will make sure that the profile is aligned to the center of this line. I'm going to show you what I mean. When I add the bevel profile modifier, it goes in the right place. It's centered on the line. Okay, maybe it's a bit too thin, so you can scale up the profile. Just press 1 and scale it up or down, whatever you want. Like this. Okay, so it's a very quick way to create these frames within the frame, especially if they have some elaborate shapes or curves or whatever. So the problem now is adding some beveled glass. If you have basic flat glass, you can add just plain, the box. I'll set the thickness pretty low and position it something like this, and that would be that would be finished and good to go. But if you have beveled glass, it's a bit more tricky, and it involves a bit of manual adjustment. Okay, what I usually do in these cases is first I'm gonna make it a bit smoother. And in these cases, when I need to make beveled glass or mirror, I usually do it like this. I just roughly trace somewhere inside my dividing wooden elements, but just along the edge. So it slightly intersects with this frame, but not too much. Okay. Adjust the shape. That's good. Basically, we need to create one for every shape. So one more here. Set all the vertices to Bezier corner, and you can adjust the shape to fit your structure of the frame. Just like that. Okay, so that's the second shape, and we need 2 more. One over here. I'm going to create a half. And mirror it down later on. Again, set to Bezier. Adjust the shape. It's a bit tedious, but I think that's the only way to get it right. And attach them together and weld the vertices. And we can probably get rid of this one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 elements, and finally we need one more element. And for this one, I'm just going to make 1/4. And mirror it a couple of times to create the rest of this object. Right. So mirror once, make a copy. Attach together. Weld. And mirror again, but this time on the x-axis. Okay. And again, let's attach them together. Make sure everything's nice and welded. And we have these shapes ready. And what I usually do is, once I have them like this, I just add a bevel modifier, and it gives me a very quick adjustment. So let's start by extruding 0.3 and then add an outline. Let's add another 0.3 and minus 0.6 or so. Okay, let's say -2 for a nice large bevel. And you can adjust these values very simply like this. So since you added the bevel modifier to all of them, you can just modify one, and all the other pieces are modified automatically. And now just mirror and make some instances for the other side. And mirror down. Okay, as you can see, it takes a bit of time, but again, nothing too difficult. You just have to know how to do it. And once you add a glass or crystal material to this beveled part, it's gonna look quite good. And the nice thing about this method is that it's very flexible. So for example, you added this bevel, and you think that no, the bevel is all wrong. I want to make it much more prominent, much stronger. So let's change it to -3 and extrude 1. Okay, that's a bit too much. Okay, and now you have this very strong bevel. And the nice thing is you can select just one of the pieces and adjust it. Right, and that's how I usually go about creating beveled glass or mirror inside elaborately shaped frame.